Good morning. This is Pastor Brian. Today we read chapter 41 of Job, as we have been reading a chapter a day to study this book, this wisdom literature. As I mentioned today, chapter 41, we get to hear all about the creature Leviathan. I'll be reading out of the Common English Bible. Feel free to follow along in your favorite translation or just listen. Chapter 41. Can you draw out Leviathan with a hook, restrain his tongue with a rope? Can you put a cord through his nose, pierce his jaw with a barb? Will he beg you at length, or speak gentle words to you? Will he make a pact with you so that you will take him as a permanent slave? Can you play with him like a bird, or put a leash on him for your girls? Will merchants sell him? Will they divide him among traders? Can you fill his hide with darts, his head with a fishing spear? Should you lay your hand on him, you would never remember the battle. Such hopes would be delusional. Surely the sight of him makes one stumble. Nobody is fierce enough to rouse him. Who then can stand before me? Who opposes me that I must repay? Everything under heaven is mine. I'm not awed by his limbs, his strength, and impressive form. Who can remove his outer garment? Who can come with a bridle for him? Who can open the doors of his mouth, surrounded by frightening teeth? His matching scales are his pride, closely locked and sealed. One touches another. Even air can't come between them. Each clings to its pair. Joined, they can't be separated. His sneezes emit flashes of light. His eyes are like dawn's rays. Shafts of fire shoot from his mouth. Like fiery sparks they fly out. Smoke pours from his nostrils like a boiling pot over reeds. His breath lights coals. A flame shoots from his mouth. Power resides in his neck. Violence dances before him. The folds of his flesh stick together. On him they are tough and unyielding. His heart is solid like a rock, hard like a lower millstone. The divine beings dread his rising. They withdraw before his thrashing. The sword that touches him won't prevail, neither will the dart, spear, nor javelin. He treats iron as straw, bronze as rotten wood. Arrows can't make him flee. Sling stones he turns to straw. He treats a club like straw. He laughs at the lance's rattle. His abdomen is like jagged pottery shards. Its sharp edges leave a trail in the mud. He causes the depths to churn like a boiling pot, stirs up the sea like a pot of scented oils, leaves a bright wake behind him. The frothy deep seems white-haired. None on earth can compare to him. He is made to be without fear. He looks on all the proud. He is king over all proud beasts. So there's the end of chapter 41. As I mentioned, all about the beast Leviathan. Leviathan is talked about several times in the Bible. Today, I believe, probably in the greatest detail, because once again, God is doing God's best by showing Job that there is this vast difference between Job and God. If no one can deal with or compare to Leviathan, who is this terrible beast with fiery breath, and even the water that it lives in is scared of it, white-haired, as the text tells us. And God can subdue it, then how can a person who can't even compare to Leviathan then compare to God? So God once again is establishing God's great authority over the world. just as no one is able to take care or do anything about this creature, how are we then supposed to take on or have this court case as Job wanted with God? Again, God is never saying that that what happened to Job wasn't wrong, but God is trying to establish God's authority in the world. And so God is using these great extremes, as we do as people, these great extremes to kind of make a point. Not that God necessarily feels exactly this way, but just trying to show Job that there is this great difference by overemphasizing the reality of things. So what did you hear? Obviously, it was all about Leviathan, but what do you think about God's continued conversation, speech, court case about showing Job just the vast difference between God and people? So write it down, write down your own thoughts, share them with a friend, share them with us on social media. I hope you are doing well and taking care of yourselves. God bless you all, and we'll see you tomorrow for our final chapter in this final book of wisdom literature. God bless you all.